What is going on, guys? Joey here, and today I wanted to cover this reel that I saw, why everyone is quitting. Now, Chip Buddy 123 does a good job putting a big sort of shock title in the reel as like the thumbnail or the start of the video, and then it'll usually say something that's like really dramatic that's going to get people to want to take a look at it. But I do think it's a good reel, and I'm gonna just let it play and I'll talk about it.
Lifting has a burnout problem. There's 3 reasons why. First,
I did want to say, from my perspective, I do think that the average lifter is going to power lift for anywhere from 2 to 4 years, 1 to 3 years, something like that. And what I've seen a lot of times with the team and with some of my coaches that work with me is that their roster after X amount of years, like let's say like 2023 was a great year for us. That was actually the best year that Flex has ever had, right? 3 years from then, we start to see like people did this sport for 3 years, and now we got to kind of, if the coaches want to maintain that roster, we are slowly like as one person falls off, we put one person on. As one person falls off, one person comes on, because they haven't put their 3 years in yet. And then of that roster, there's gonna be, of course, like there's like, I call them lifers, like they're just gonna fucking power lift. They're gonna power lift. They don't give a shit. They like the programming. They want the schedule. They want to keep building. They just want to keep doing it. They've already put a bunch on their lifts, and there's like this little thing in your head. I know I used to have this that is basically saying, I don't want to look back and say, like I want to see how far I could have gone. And the only way for me to get that answer is for me to keep doing it. And we definitely have those kinds of people as well. But he's going to go into some reasons as to why people may be falling off.
this sport is very repetitive. You squat, you bench, you deadlift. That's how you get strong. Years of form perfection and weight exposure. For certain people, this can really wear them down. Second,
Yep. You got to squat, you got to bench, you got to deadlift. You can do some things to make it not so bad and not as boring. But depending on how, I like to think of it like this. Imagine you are carrying a bunch of like equipment in like a big backpack, right? You have like all these bags on you, all this equipment. And when you start off powerlifting, you could pretty much move wherever you want to move with all your equipment. As you start to walk down, like let's say you come to a narrow passageway, right? As you start to get closer and go down that hallway or that passageway, you can think of like 2 jagged rocks, right? You're trying to pass the ravine or whatever. You're gonna have to start dropping some equipment, or you won't be able to fit through that narrow passageway. The longer and farther you go into powerlifting, you're gonna have to get rid of a lot of external things in order to keep going down that pathway. If you can't do that, you're gonna get stuck. And then it's sort of like you only really progress when you decide like, okay, I'll sacrifice something else to be able to keep moving forward. So that's a tough thing. Of course, we can desensitize. I'm a big fan of desensitizing. I've been saying this for a really long time. We can desensitize, but at the same time, it's eventually, you will get to a point, and it's kind of scary, honestly, when you get to this point where your best is going to be all the way up here. It's not even on screen, so high up, right? It's going to be all the way up here. And unless you give up, like you drop all your equipment, you will not, you will like you could train and you could do all this stuff and you're just going to operate in here. You're never going to get back up there unless you like really, really lock in. And it's just hard for people to do that. It is hard for people to do that. You might have fun operating down here. Like, yeah, that's my best. But like that shit's hell, man. To get to that point, that's hell. Now, I would say less than 1% of lifters actually get to that point. But me doing this as long as I've been doing it, it can be really tough when you get up there. What is required of you to stay up there is not worth it to some people.
we don't value longevity enough. Few people who aren't already top lifters prioritise staying healthy enough to keep training. Burnouts rarely manifest from a huge injury. Instead, it's months of an aching shoulder, sore knees, or tennis elbow that stagnates you and kills motivation. This is an idea pushed heavily by coaches like Matt Vayner, who sees cardio as a method of maintaining your health and minimising burnouts. Third, genetics.
I do think to some extent people need to prioritize their health, and doing cardio in a way that's not going to be super invasive, taking away from their comp lifts, is probably a good idea. Um, Obviously, if you're doing like intervals or something like that, it's going to probably destroy your ability to squat heavy, right? Or you might not even be able to bench right if you're killing yourself doing that. But just I haven't covered it. I don't know if I'm going to cover it because I don't know if I should do it on the video that I saw it on. But essentially, sorry guys, my allergies are kicking in and everything is itchy. Essentially, you need to be able to handle the tightness that arises from powerlifting because you are doing squat, bench, and deadlift so much. Your elbows, your quads, your hamstring, your glute hamstring tie-in, your lower back, your hip flexors in the front, your adductors, your bicep tendon, your shoulders, all those areas are going to get beat up a lot. So you have to take care of yourself and solve those problems, or at least find a routine where you can keep them like very low. Otherwise you get so bound up, you have so much tendinosis, and you can't really operate how you need to operate, and you end up dreading going to the gym because like you're carrying all this pain, all this tightness.
The sport is full of new teenage lifters putting up insane numbers. There's a widespread idea that success is mostly determined by genetics. When you see these teenagers, it's easy to think, why even bother?
Yeah, I am noticing that now more than ever, that there's a lot of young guys that come into the sport that are looking at guys that have been doing it for, if they started when they were 12 and now they're 17 and they have a great total that's competitive in the open, and they're 16 and they want to get started, they're like, well, there's a guy who's way better than me and I'm just going to give up, right? And it's like, you can have that mentality, but you're not even going to know what you're capable of unless you try. And you probably didn't even really love it in the first place. You just wanted to do it because you wanted to get the positive feedback loop from being at the top, when you should be doing it because you enjoy doing it. When I started powerlifting stuff, I remember going to like USPA meets, and you would see all these lifters that are like not even remotely, like they're not even top 100 at nationals, right? But maybe like 50, 50th, 80th, something, right? But they loved it. They did it for the love of the game. They did it for the love of the game. They did it because they enjoyed it. They didn't care about nothing else. There was nothing else. There was nothing else to gain. There was nothing else to get from powerlifting except the fun of competing. They truly did it for fun. And I don't know. I think it's because the most popular lifters are competitive lifters. So that's what people are going to see. So everybody's going to sort of compare themselves to that. And they're going to think they have to take it super serious and be super locked in and do all these things. And although that can help them maybe decide whether that's something they want to do once they try it, you don't have to do that. You could just live for fun. You could literally just live for fun. If I ever compete again, it's not going to be like because I'm trying to win shit. It's going to be for like, for me personally, it will be to prove that I could do it again. But you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. You could, the sport can be what you want it to be. And I do think there's a lot of lifters that do it for the love of the game, but they're like, I don't know, maybe they're scared to post because they think they're going to get compared on the internet to like the people that get the most views. But if you go to any of the pop and local meets in SoCal, we'll get like 250 people at a local meet. So many of those lifters are not even trying to go to Nats, right? They're just having fun. And they do it for the social aspect, they do it for other reasons.
If you want to stay in this sport, you need to separate yourself from social media.
I like that if you have a problem with social media. If you can't just be cool with yourself and be like, and watch other people and be like, I don't really give a shit what I'm lifting compared to others. I just love the sport and I love the game and I'm gonna keep lifting and I'm gonna watch other people. Then you could still be on social media. But if you're affected mentally by what you see other people doing, then you gotta change your algorithm.
Is this an issue that can be fixed, or is it just mindset separating the elite?
Is this an issue that can be fixed? I am largely of the belief that humans are like we do things off of instinct and impulse. That's why certain posts that may be suggestive online get a lot of views and likes, because that's just how people are. Like, it's very like low hanging fruit. It's very like, like reptile brain type stuff that's gonna get a like. And it's just the easiest way to get likes if you like do stuff like that. And I think I actually think like instead of it getting fixed, okay, it's a couple things. One, I think if we have like nationals, we have like worlds, we have like NAPF, we have SPD Austin, we have Avances, and we keep going. We have state meet, we have local meet, and we have like these like all these different levels of meets, and we make them fun and cool, and people get a spotlight and all these different things. That could help. That could certainly help. People can say, "Hey, I might not be able to make it to Worlds, but I could go here, 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 here," and you never know, might get a wild card, whatever. That could help. SPD Austin was fucking amazing. It was fucking amazing. It was one of my favorite local meets I've ever done. Like, the boys killed it. Jesus went crazy. Jada went crazy. Delaney went crazy. Like, it was, Tina's lifter had a fun time. Like, it was great. It was great. And that was not even, we can't even take world records at that meet, right? So that helps. But also, I don't think it really needs to be fixed. I don't really think we have to change all these things to get people to not want to quit if after 3 years they say I've done it and I'm ready to move on to something else. Let that happen. Let them, what do they need to be shackled to the sport for? Let like I've been around through many, many, many generations. Like, powerlifting generation, I would say is probably like 3 years, right? So I've been around for like 4 generations now of powerlifting. And I've been lucky enough to have some lifters make it almost 3 of those generations, right? Where they can stay relevant and stay at the top for so long. And I think that it's okay if people realize I tried powerlifting. It was fun. I got stronger. I learned a lot about myself. I got to travel. I got to do all these things, but it costs money and it's stressful. And I want to do this with my life and I want to do that with my life. And I'm still going to follow it, but like, I'm just not, I don't really have a desire to compete in it the way that I did. That's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you guys who. For a little treat here for those of you that made it to the end. But one of my prominent lifters said he's got about 2-3 years left in the tank. He's been doing it for a long time. Really, really, really long time. Like, multiple generations of powerlifting. And that's good. That's okay. I think as a coach, to be able to take someone from the beginning to the end and be like, I was their only coach throughout that entire time, and they never went to another coach, and I'm so thankful for that journey. You don't get too many of those, fellas, let me tell you. You don't get too many of those. That's sort of like I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe it. That's a cool feeling. So, clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video or were able to take something away from it, please let me know in the comments down below. And workshop is Saturday at 9 a.m. If you still want to get it in, hit me up any way that you can or check the description of this video. Peace.